I'm not even like it's a disappointing loss, EP, but I'm not even that disappointed because the
Yeah.
Knicks played a hell of a game. And look, let me tell you, it's tough to play 5 versus 8. All right, it's five Knicks against
Whoa.
the OKC Thunder and the refs, man. I mean, some of the call. I don't like to blame the refs, but these calls tonight, man, were just awful. They were ticky tacky, and I mean, even the last foul on Towns was
Yeah.
egregious in my eyes, man.
You mean the fifth one that he picked up on Dort, or the last one on SGA? Which one was more brutal?
I mean, the last one on SGA, I was like, come on now. Like the way that this game has been going, we're going to call that right now. The way that guys were, I mean, the way the guys were like hugging everybody, knocking each other off the block. I mean, if you're going to allow a physical game, allow a physical game. But then on top of that, you just started off with the the no call on the charge. Like how, what, just because you don't want SGA to get the third foul?
That was so rigged.
That was
When they say the game
so
is rigged, you
disgusting.
look no further than that
Yeah,
call, man.
look no further than that call, man. It was gross. And so, look, hell of an effort by the Knicks tonight. Uh, it's just tough to play 5 versus 8, man. The refs were really in their bag tonight for the Thunder, and it's damn, man. This was such a close game, such a close game. And the thing is that we could talk about the what ifs. Like, what if you have Mitch? Does Chet really go off tonight like that? Does he, does playing physical against Mitch deter him from knocking down those threes? If the Knicks are able to get into a better offensive groove early and not having to struggle, do they, get into that flow? But hey, give credit to the Knicks tonight, man. I know it's no moral victories, but
Yeah.
if you want to talk about teams being so far out of reach, I didn't see that tonight. I think the Knicks are clearly in the class with the Thunder, and that to me tells me they're a tier one team. So I don't want to hear
Yeah.
that they can't be a championship caliber team. I think this game could have gone either way. They get another chance again this month to face OKC, and hopefully they return the favor out in Oklahoma.
Yeah. This was I haven't been more mad about a loss in this one. Even though you say, yeah, it was against OKC and they did fight and you give them a lot of credit. I just hated the fact that, as you said, you had to battle against that adversity. And then also from probably an envious standpoint, OKC closed like a championship team. It's hard to go climb up an uphill battle all night against this team, especially when you're on the second night of a back-to-back, which is why I said at halftime, I was like, damn, they're down by 10. Lowest scoring total of the half. You're going up against the champs. They seem to have an answer for all the Knick runs. I'm like, this isn't a Charlotte Hornets 10-point lead. This is OKC. And so the Knicks would have to turn up in the second half, but they did. And give them a lot of credit. They fought valiantly in that third quarter. As good as the third quarter as I've seen this team play. Landry Shamet, you could see he just had that eye of the tiger in him. He was ready to fight. 11 points for him in that third quarter. The defense, Karl-Anthony Towns, excellent. The Knicks were undersized with no Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart being sidelined for most of this game with the back injury. He came in, he tried to give it a go, but he was kind of hurting this team offensively, and then with the back injury, it was kind of double jeopardy for him. But nevertheless, between Shamet, Brunson, I thought Bridges had his moments in the Sunday in the third quarter, really getting it into his bag when they needed him. They took the lead. They took a 3-point lead going into that fourth quarter. But that's when things kind of got dicey. I mean, start with the strategy by Brown, kind of changing the rhythm there of the rotation, going with the starters in the fourth quarter, I would guess to try to see if they could extend the lead while Shea was out. And then you rest Brunson and try to hold it down until you could get him back in there and close the door. They ended up in that minute, in that opening fourth, they end up going down 3, so that's a -6 swing. And then Shea comes in, and they just weren't able to really get that back in the fourth. Now, again, they were able to get down to a last shot and try to tie this thing. But again, just battling from an uphill battle all night, man. All right, let's get to the key stats of the night, man. Brought to you by Prize Picks. Knicks lose 103-100. They shot 42% from the field to 45% from the field. 29% from downtown to 38%. for the Thunder. Let's see, only 29%. You know, that was a big key for me, was a battle of the threes, 3-point percentage, and Knicks couldn't get it there. Shot 23% in the first half and didn't do too much better in the second half. You know, second half back-to-back. But even in the Raptors game, they didn't shoot the ball that well from three, so they kind of cooled off a little bit. Free throws, as we talked about, 16 at 22, 73% from the charity stripe. They did win the rebounding battle 48-38, despite no Mitch. And so they did win that. Shout out to Karl-Anthony Towns for being a big factor there. 23-21, they win the assist battle. Turnovers. Like I said, in the first half, it was a little bad, but second half they cooled off. 14 Knicks turnovers led to 14 Thunder points. 16 Thunder turnovers leading to 23 Knicks points. Good job there. Kind of kept them in the game.
Definitely kept them in the game.
Yeah.
Big thing for me, CP.
I'll just run it through. Fast break battle. Knicks won 14-2. And then largest lead of the night, 15 for the Thunder, 4 for the Knicks. Thunder led 86% of the time. Go ahead, bro.
All right. I'd say the biggest thing for me, man, is the fast break points. 14-2. That's the big one. Second chance opportunities was also another one for me. All the hustle categories were the stuff that really stood out to me tonight because the Knicks dominated all of them. 46-20 points in the paint, as you noted. 20-10 second chance opportunities. 14-2. Knicks were hustling, man. Knicks were playing with moxie tonight, and you got to be proud of that. And the thing that translates, that is translated from all this, CP, and I checked it earlier today, and I wonder if it's still the same right now. Just give me a sec to refresh this and see where the Knicks are. Knicks are 6 right now, CP, in defensive rating on the season. 6. So they're a top 10 defensive team right now. Okay, and this is competing against some top tiered echelon teams. All of this is saying to me, man, that the Knicks are moving in the right direction defensively. So with the hustle, the grit, I'm loving every aspect of it.
Yeah, got to. Definitely got to be pleased with that. So shout out to the Knicks for that. For me, I'm going to be looking at the 3-point percentage. Unfortunately, they couldn't cash in. And our guest today, shout out to him and Brandon. We had a good preview show today, and he talked about the fact that, hey, Thunder, they're going to give up. They're going to let you shoot those corner threes, those wide open corner threes. And it wasn't just from the corners. Knicks had wide open looks from three the entire night. Couldn't cash it. Couldn't cash it. As a Thunder or a team that want to take away those paint points and paint touches, they're going to sell out and give you those 3-point opportunities. Knicks just couldn't get enough. Shamet had a couple. He had his moments there, and Jalen definitely got some there in the fourth. But in totality, they just they couldn't get it there. You only had, if we go across some of your key 3-point shooters, OG 4 for 13. Boom. McCall 1 of 5 after he was red hot against the Spurs. Brunson 2 of 5. Mo had his 3 for 4. Oh, Shamet, matter of fact, I said Shamet hit. He didn't hit any. He was 0 for 3. So his points came inside. So that was my mistake. Alvarado 0 for 2. So they just didn't get the threes. Towns, no 3-point attempts. No 3-point attempts for the best big shooting big in the league. Okay. All right. Okay. Hierarchy, right? Hierarchy.
Yes, the hierarchy.
Okay.
Very interesting hierarchy we got going on over
it's
here.
It's a very interesting.
Who's the number 2 option? I have no idea.
It changes from night to night. There is no number 2 option.
You're the number 2 option tomorrow night, CP. Don't worry.
It changes. It changes, man. So that, and then I thought the turnovers. I thought they did a good job, especially in the second half, limiting the turnovers. That helped them get in the game, and then turning OKC over and turning that into points. I thought those were major. So, they did win the rebounding battle as well, which I thought was good, but wasn't a good result at the end of the day. 100-103, Knicks lose. Key stats of the night, Al, brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is back in New York and all 50 states, man. Shout out to Prize Picks for returning and sponsoring the show. And for doing that, they are giving you $50 in lineups just for getting started when you play your first $5 lineup. And that's by downloading the Prize Picks app and using code KFTV. And the way Prize Picks works, it's real simple. You sign up, use the code KFTV, And then you just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. That's it. If your picks are right, you cash in. And with the Knicks rolling, I'm looking at the Brunson points. I might stack them up against Denver with a couple of projections in the same lineup. That's one of my favorite features on Prize Picks. You can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Points, assists, threes. They have early payouts. You also have quick deposits. Withdrawals are fast and secure. And you can even follow the social feed to see what the community is building. So don't miss out. Once again, download the Prize Picks app today and use code KFTV to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Tonight, I'm upset, but I'm happy at the same time, man. One thing that I always preach with you guys is the effort and the fire, right? We had that tonight, man. I mean, these guys played their tails off, man. The effort, the ball movement was there, the player movement was there. We went through a lot of stretches where we just couldn't make a shot, which kind of killed us. When JB hit that 3 in the fourth to tie the game, they went on an 8-0 run. That kind of doomed us right there because it came late and we just couldn't overcome it. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. You got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we couldn't overcome it, man. That last 8-0 run that they made in the last 5 minutes kind of put enough cushion where we just couldn't overcome it. I think KAT is in his lane, man. He's playing great. I love the way KAT's playing, getting on the O boards and creating some offense for himself. I really wish we would have fed him, man. There were so many opportunities where we had a mismatch there and he's there. And one thing that I always harp on, and I've talked about it with you guys before, is he has to fight for position. And he's actually fighting for position. He's getting position and he's not getting the ball. And that was upsetting. But overall, man, I think the effort's there. I think we're in the right moving in the right direction as a team. I think there's some things we got to clean up for sure. Defensively, we look fantastic. The communication, the rotations, the effort, more importantly, the want to. Mike Brown, I would have liked to see Diawara a little bit more in that second half, in my opinion. I just like the kid's confidence, and he just lets it go, sometimes to a fault. But I think some nights that will fall into our favor because he's a good enough shooter to where he can get really hot. But I think the effort was there, man. That's what we want. The effort, the fight. I think, like I said, we're moving in that right direction. And Jalen, to that call, I forget his name, saying with the assist, I think Jalen is trying to get people involved.
That's Severe Elder, yeah.
Yeah, Severe. Yeah, Jalen is trying to get people involved. And in order to convert an assist, people got to make a shot. So, JB is trying for sure. I can see that. But the one thing is we got to give credit to OKC's defense as well. He didn't shoot the ball well tonight, but they were stifling JB, so he has to make that adjustment, and he will. I'm more than confident with that. He definitely will. We've seen it too many times. And lastly, the referees, I'm not one to, I hate talking about the refs, but I just wish it was a little bit more consistent. If you're going to let the game be, ticky-tack calls go on one end, you should let them go on the other end. You know what I mean? That was a little iffy for me. But all in all, I thought we played a good game, hard-fought game. One play, one shot here, one play, one shot there, one call here, one call there. It's a totally different conversation we're having. And we're talking about what a win.